I had gone to what I would call hurricane school last summer, being new residents in South Carolina, and didn't really know what to do for a hurricane, and they had a booth there. And I met the people at the booth and didn't think I would ever probably need the services. And when we had the fire and I was on my way back from taking our cats to the vet, you guys were in the parking lot, and I just looked and said, oh my gosh, I think I need you. So it was, I didn't know at the time when I first saw FSA that we would ever need you, but it was good to know.
First thing they did was the day after the fire, which was Friday, after Martha had met Tony in the parking lot, they came right over to the house by 1:30, 2 o'clock. We had only gotten in at 10 and it was now only 2, and Tony was there, Mike was there taking pictures. And then the next day was really the first day that we met with our insurance adjusters. And I called Tony like at 9:30 and said, we're going to be there at 10. And he was there at 10 o'clock with his whole group and was there probably 4 or 5 hours. And this was after just meeting us. It was absolutely fantastic.
I think when you're shell-shocked, and I think that's what we were, you kind of stand there and you don't know what to do. And to have someone with that kind of experience and direction is phenomenal, because you don't know what. I never had a fire. I'm sorry, was able to not walk into my house and see your stuff burned up. So it's gonna. I think the precision of, okay, we have to do this and do this and do this and do this, and we didn't know what to do. So I think that's probably the biggest part of knowing that we didn't know what to do, but you guys did. You just knew. And we went, oh, okay, we're going to do that. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to do that. But it was the kind of like bringing us along, saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Don't worry about anything. Oh, they got us the generator so we could get back in the house on the weekend to get some stuff out, because we both run businesses. So we kind of went, oh my God, what about the computers? What about, you know, we need our checkbooks, we need, you know, all these things. But he gave us a generator so we could get into our computers, save off of it what that we could even get them turned on. And then Tommy brought them back in 3 weeks. Oh, it wasn't even 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. The computers are clean and brought back so we could work. I was like, wow, okay. We didn't even know what we needed, and I think that's probably the key to the whole thing.
Fire was April 22nd, I thought it was.
23rd.
23rd, and we were back July 31st. So
2 months.
2.5 months, 3 months.
Not only, yeah.
Less than, we actually hadn't expected to be able to get back in until Labor Day. And at the time when I first saw Tony, he said, 2 to 3 months. And Martha, being the pessimist, nah, it won't happen, it won't happen. And in fact, it did happen exactly almost to the day that Tony said we'd be back in the house we were. We had separate lights hung in the bathroom, in the master bathroom. And Richard came in and he measured, the sink was now in. The light was off an inch so that it wasn't centered over the sink. And he had the electrician come back and move the light so that it was exactly centered over the sink. That's the kind of quality of work that we have come to expect from FSA.
When they say they're going to be there, they are there.
Exactly right.
You're not standing there going, well, it's 2 o'clock and they're not here yet. That doesn't happen. They're there. They're coming at 9:30. Doorbell rings. They're there at 9:30. Right?
We were never given, we'll be there between 12 and 2.
Oh, never.
That never happened. It was, if it's 12, we're going to be there at 12.
Right. And this will happen on this day, and this will happen on this day.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yes. The 3 things I would pick in working with FSA would be, right, the quality of the work. Again, the fact that when they said they were coming, they would show up on time. And just the professionalism of the whole office. you call anybody in this office and ask them a question, and they would respond immediately, whether it be Christy or Richard or Mike, whoever. We never got voicemail. There was no such thing as voicemail at FSA. Somebody always answered the phone. If they were in a meeting, they'd call you back, yes, but we always got an answer at the same day, within an hour that we called, if there was a real question or an issue that we had to deal with. We were told on a daily basis. I had a conversation with Richard probably 8:30 every morning as to where he was, what was happening that day, or what was not happening for whatever reason. And so progress, you know, if it wasn't Richard, it was Tony. If it wasn't Tony, it was Mike. Somebody would always call me and tell us what was happening. If we had to tell a friend about full steam ahead, I'd tell him, call him. Don't hesitate. Pick up the phone. I'll come over and dial the phone for you. I can't say enough about it. I really can't, without getting emotional about how fantastic it is.
If I had to tell a friend about FSA, I would just say that you can't afford not to. You can't afford to, especially we both run businesses out of the house, so we had to be up and running as soon as possible. I think you cannot afford to not only put your life on hold, but put your business on hold. If you have a business that you run out of the house, you just can't afford not to. I mean, truly, I think you can't. And just. I don't think there's anybody else. I don't think anybody could do it any better. There isn't a question that we didn't have answered or wasn't done. I think maybe just the coordination of the parties all involved. You know, the fact, and Tom touched on it earlier, the fact that, you know, Tony and Mike were there on Friday, working with the insurance guy was, my insurance guy is great. We were very fortunate in that regard. But literally, Christy standing in my kitchen with the computer, with the insurance man standing right there, and okay, this is so many dollars, and she goes, got it. And they agree. There was no, not once have I had an issue with the insurance company and FSA. It's always, you know, to this moment, we agree. We agree. We have everything that we need, and that's huge, because I've had some other people say to me, well, they've had trouble with their insurance company. I've been fortunate in that regard, but I think also fortunate in the way FSA has worked with the insurance company, because there was just the fact, I mean, I didn't expect Christy to show up in my kitchen with a laptop. You know, my insurance guy had his laptop in the truck, but I mean, even so, just the fact that they were able to come to terms in the middle of the soot, you know, they're in the, right? I mean, They're in the middle of, I don't know how they breathed in there. That was, I don't know how they did that, but, you know, just the fact that they're taking it to that level that quickly, so that there was no, I mean, the estimate that the insurance guy kept bringing out of the truck was 10 more pages and 10 more pages and 10 more pages, but everything just meshed, and I think that's very important, because that could just hold you up terribly, and you just don't have time for that, because you want to get back, you got to get back in business. You know, it's important to do that.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add is that unless you've gone through this, you really don't fully appreciate what a traumatic experience it is. We had seen a picture of the back of our house before we got there, because our neighbor had snuck back in and took a picture with his camera.
Yeah, that's right.
So we knew the house was standing. We hoped that our cats were still alive, which they were. But until you actually stand in your bedroom and just see the devastation, you can't fully appreciate it. So to have something like FSA for emotional support was fantastic. I can't say it enough. And that's it.